In this lesson, we're going to cover how to document sheet metal parts. I just created a brand new drawing file, and we're going to start off documenting a sheet metal part like you would any other part or assembly file. I'm going to start off by selecting the Base View tool, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to navigate out. And I'm going to select the file called document.ipt, found in our Chapter 10 exercise folder. I'm going to go ahead and click on Open. And you see in our drawing view dialog box we have two options when dealing with sheet metal parts. I can document this in the folded or the flat. So let's go ahead and do the folded model. So let's go ahead, I'm just going to place in my front view. And just like any other file, you can go back and pull off projected views. So we'll pull a couple of those off. And of course we could go back and you could annotate those as you would any other part. I'm going to go back and I'm going to create another base view. And I'm going to place the flat pattern now up here. You could also go back and create another sheet and place the flat pattern on that other sheet. I'm just going to place it all in the same one. So again, I'm just going to go back to the base view tool, navigate back out, select our same component, click open. And in this case, I'm going to select the flat pattern option, and I do want to recover the punch center because the file that we have does have a couple of punches on there. And I'm going to go ahead and place in that view in the upper right hand corner, and let's zoom up on that a little bit. As you can see, Inventor went and placed in the bend lines for me. So what I want to do next is let's go back and annotate out our flat pattern. So I'm going to switch the panel to the annotation panel. And here we can go back and you can use your dimensioning tools as needed. So I'll just go ahead and place in a couple. So there's really no difference here. So right click, done. So next let's take a look at some tools that are built specifically for sheet metal. Under the hole and thread notes, under our drop down list, you'll see that we have a tool here called Bend Notes. So I'm going to go ahead and select on that. And what I can do is I can go back and individually select on the individual bend lines if I want, or you can go back and do a window or a crossing, and that's what I'm going to do on the right hand side here. And you'll see all my bend information is coming back in. I'm going to right click, done. Now what I can do is I can move my cursor over one of these bend notes and pull the green circle. I can pull the annotation so it's out of the drawing view itself here. So you just keep working your way around on that. Now, what I'd like to do is get some more information in regards to those bends in a table. So from the annotation panel, we're going to slide on down. And now I'm going to go ahead and select on the table tool. And in the table dialog box, I'm going to select our flat pattern view. So I'm going to take all the defaults here. Just going to go ahead and click on OK. And I now have a table that's telling manufacturing specifically what to do with each of those bends. Are they going to be bent up and down, and specifically what angle? So next what I'd like to do is pull some information in regards to the punches and the holes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and create a hole table, and you can use any of the options that you want. In this case I am going to use the hole table view option. I'm going to select a point in the view. I'm going to place in my origin down in the lower left hand corner. Let's place in our hole table. And you see at this point it's only showing me information about the two holes that I have here. So what I want to do is I want to go back and edit that table to also pull in information about the punches. So I'm going to double click on the table. And now from the Edit Hole Table dialog box, I want to tell Inventor to go back and also grab information about the center marks and also the punch centers. So let's go ahead and apply that. And if I move this out of the way here, you'll see I now have my information in regards to the punches. See, they're labeled B1 and C1, but it's really not telling me any information. When we placed in that punch, I also gave it a punch ID. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the Edit Hole dialog, and from the Formatting tab, I'm going to go ahead and select on Column Chooser. And this is where we can go back and add some information. So in this case, I now want to select the punch ID. And I also went back and I specified a punch depth when we created that punch, so I'm going to add that one as well. Go ahead and click OK. Click OK. And I now have a table built that's also specifying the punch information. Of course, I don't have a description for that, so I could double click on the dash. And here I can go back and just type in some information. In this case, I'll just generically call it punch. So let's go ahead and also add a description for the second punch. Now, any change that we would make to the sheet metal part will, of course, replicate itself back into the flat pattern. And then, of course, the drawing views will get updated to reflect the changes in both the folded and the flat pattern.